Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here at 7 o'clock on The Wax. I'm Caitlin Francis.
I'm Caitlin Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here. We appreciate that. We do have a lot to talk about, including that breaking news in Stratford that we're going to get right to. But first, let's get your morning ready. Get out the door. Meteorologist Scott Gagliardi is here with a check on your forecast. How are we looking out there, Scott?
Looking pretty good. There's a lot of clouds out there, but a lot of people with the air quality, they've been asking, when is this going to improve? Well, that day is today. Finally, looking at improved air quality, that smoke from the wildfires in Canada finally exiting our state. Everything you see out there right now, those are actually clouds, not any of the smoke. So some good news there. Temperature 65 in Hartford, up through Windsor Locks, getting some breaks in the clouds. This will be a theme that continues throughout the day, expecting much more sunshine later on this afternoon. Windsor Locks right now is 63 degrees. First Alert Live radar is scanning the state mainly dry. There's a few showers just off to the north and the west, say clipping parts of northwestern Litchfield County. Other than that, though, these will come to an end, and we're talking about improving conditions throughout the day. Everybody in those 60s, New Haven, you were in the 60s. Now you're up to 70, and that's beginning your warming trend. This afternoon, everybody climbs well up into those 70s. Here's a look at the wildfire smoke. Notice how it exits the state throughout the day today and tomorrow and through the weekend, looking much better out there. Air quality has already been improving, so great news there. As far as what to expect for the rest of the day, temperatures making a run at those low 80s. But the heat really cranks by next week. We've issued a first alert weather day on Tuesday for the combination of high heat and high humidity, making outdoor plans, and the possibility of some heat-related illness coming on very quickly. We'll detail more about this, though, coming up in your first alert forecast. Good morning, Kate.
All right, good morning, Scott. Good morning, everyone. Let's take you out, give you a live look here in New Haven, 95 north and southbound, right by East Street, so by the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge. Scott was just talking about maybe some cloud cover, a little bit of reduced visibility here through this stretch, but traffic volume is light and moving along. We're looking pretty good across the majority of the state right now. Live look in Hartford, 91 north and southbound, right by exit 32A and B. No real substantial delays through that stretch just yet. A live look outside in Vernon, 84 east and westbound off of exit 65 by Hartford Turnpike. In Middletown along Route 9. We've got some daytime construction that will pick up along the Route 9 corridor and Meriden as well, 691 east and westbound. Nice and quiet there, but again, lots of daytime road work that's expected to pop up through Meriden along 91. There's a lot of daytime construction, period, so watch out for those work zones. Your drive times all looking pretty good for this time of morning. Just a 76-minute ride towards the George Washington Bridge. Another update coming up for you shortly. That's a quick check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
All right, now to that breaking news in Stratford that we're following. There's an active search right now for a 6-year-old boy who fell into the Housatonic River.
Your reporter Marcy Jones live right at the Bird's Eye boat ramp where that boy was last seen. Marcy, good morning to you. Can you tell us the latest on this desperate search taking place right now?
Absolutely. First, I just want to address something that's been an issue for some of the locals in the area. This area is closed off to anybody. We've had a couple boaters come here, try to get to the ramp. It is shut off just so that search crews can do their job safely. I want to show you what we have going on in the background. Every 10 minutes or so, we have another first responder from a local agency coming to join in on the efforts. You can see right now we've got the helicopter in the sky from the Coast Guard. We've got Coast Guard boats on the water as well as Trumbull Police, Stratford Police, Connecticut State Police. This is an all hands on deck effort. Everyone's still holding out hope for good news. Around 1:30 Wednesday afternoon, Stratford police say a 6-year-old boy fell into the river while walking on the Bird's Eye boat ramp. According to police, a United Illuminating employee saw it happen and immediately jumped into the water to try and save him. Search and rescue teams from across the region were called in, including from surrounding towns, state police, and the Coast Guard. Boats, jet skis, drones, dive teams, and even a helicopter were deployed in an intensive search. Residents who live nearby say they feel helpless watching the nightmare unfold.
I came down here a couple hours ago and found out that a little boy maybe fell off the dock and people tried to jump in and save him, but the current was bringing him out. So I've just been praying and hopeful.
If you're not familiar with this area, we're just a couple miles away from where the river meets the Long Island Sound, and the search area is about 20 miles long. All of these agencies trying to search every single inch and return with good news. Your reporter in Stratford, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, some breaking news in Hartford to get to now, just into our newsroom. Hartford police tells 2 people were shot in the area of Park Street earlier this morning. Pinpoint News Tracker shows you where this happened, right near Parkville Market. We know that a man and a woman were shot. The man, police say, is in critical condition. The woman is expected to survive.
7:05 here. If your travels take you to the airport this morning, we're keeping a very close eye on Bradley. That's because United has had some issues. There might be changes to your flights this morning because the airline's still working to get back on track after a tech issue grounded flights. A few flights scheduled to arrive here in Windsor Locks were delayed until this morning, and right now one United flight out of Bradley to Washington Dulles has been canceled. So if you're heading to the airport, check the status of your flight before you head out the door.
Well, this morning, 19 people in New Haven are waking up without a home after a fire. The assistant fire chief says it started in a dumpster on Davenport Avenue before spreading to two nearby buildings. One of them was being renovated. No one was hurt, but firefighters did rescue a cat. Investigators still trying to figure out what sparked that fire.
Well, we're tracking an important public safety story here in Meriden, where city leaders are shutting down the city's volunteer fire unit.
Your reporter Roger Suzanne has more on how this could impact the fire department, how the fire department protects people in the city.
Meriden's professional fire department will not be affected, so the men and women who work out of trucks like the one behind me will not be impacted, but the volunteers will. And what that means is, if you live in Meriden and there is a huge fire at your house, it is possible that fewer firefighters will actually show up to help, because nearly 20 volunteer firefighters here in Meriden very soon will be shut out of that process. Meriden leaders will hold a press conference today to explain why they are shutting down the city's volunteer fire unit, which operated out of the firehouse on Camp Street in South Meriden, right near the airport. At this point, city leaders have not explained why they are making this move, but we know that flames certainly aren't the only things that firefighters have been battling lately here in Meriden. Fire department leaders have been pushing the city for a budget increase to help pay for things like new equipment and more firefighters. We'll learn more at today's press conference beginning at 4:30. So the bottom line is overall manpower will likely be impacted, but overall response times should not be. And that's because no firehouses are closing. The volunteers always shared space with the professionals, although obviously that won't be the case for long. Reporting in Meriden, I'm your reporter Roger Suzanne, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, today in Hartford, city leaders and police will give an update on a recent crackdown on ATVs in the city. Officers took 7 of them and 2 mopeds off the streets, and 6 people were arrested. There have been a lot of complaints about these and reckless driving and also street takeovers.
Right now in Torrington, police are asking for your help finding the person or people responsible for starting a fire at a building on Highland Avenue. Investigators now offering a $2,500 reward for an arrest that leads to conviction here in this case. If you know anything, please give police a call.
All right, today in Middletown, leaders and health advocates in our state will sound the alarm about proposed funding cuts that they say could block efforts to improve drinking water quality. Senator Richard Blumenthal says Connecticut could lose $7 million for lead pipe removal projects, and lead has been linked to a number of health problems, particularly in children.
This morning, the race for governor continues to heat up. Greenwich State Senator Ryan Fazio, a Republican, says he is considering a run for the seat. Governor Ned Lamont saying he looks forward to seeing him in that race. He hasn't officially announced if he will be rerunning here. Fazio could face a challenge from fellow Republican Aaron Stewart, the New Britain mayor, also considering a run for governor.
On to the latest now this morning as we continue to follow the saga with the Connecticut Sun. State leaders are now open to building a new practice facility for them here. Governor Ned Lamont says the facility could include physical therapy, which the players say is vital to their health. So the minority owner of the Boston Celtics, we've been talking about this, says he would build a new practice facility for the team as part of that $325 million offer to buy them and then move them up to Boston.
Well, this morning, Blackie's Hot Dogs in Cheshire are moving on to our next round of our Best Hot Dog competition.
They defeated Frankie's yesterday, and now we're on to the next round here. We need another matchup between Capital Lunch in New Britain and Augie and Raisin East Hartford.
So you can help us choose your favorite. Scan the QR code you see there on your screen or head to the website or mobile app and just click Vote Now.